could only go so far with it, and then you'd have to change the character and nature of the show. I mean, if you had Matt and Kitty have an on-screen love affair, then, they'd have to get married or something. And
for 20 years, the television series Gunsmoke stood tall as one of the most respected and loved Western dramas in American history. From 1955 to 1975, millions of families gathered around their television sets every week to watch Marshal Matt Dillon bring justice to the rough town of Dodge City. At the center of the show was James Arness, a tall, quiet, and powerful actor whose calm presence made him the perfect lawman. On screen, he looked steady, confident, and completely in control. But behind the scenes, things were not always as peaceful as they seemed. Over time, rumors began to spread that Arness had serious disagreements with one of his co-stars and that at one point he even wanted that co-star gone from the show. For fans who only saw the strong friendships and emotional moments on screen, this idea was surprising. How could there be tension on a show that looked so united? To understand what really happened, we must first look at how important Gunsmoke was during its time. When the show began, Westerns were very popular on television. However, most of them did not last very long. Gunsmoke was different. It had deeper stories, more emotional characters, and a serious tone that felt more realistic than many other Westerns. The show actually began as a radio drama before it became a television series. When it moved to TV, producers made a bold choice by keeping the radio version running at the same time for several years. That helped build a strong audience. When casting the role of Marshal Matt Dillon, Hollywood legend John Wayne was first considered. However, Wayne did not want to commit to a long television schedule. Instead, he supported the show and even introduced the first episode. That support helped the series gain attention. Eventually, the role went to James Arness, whose tall frame and serious personality made him perfect for the part. Over the years, Arness became the face of the show. He rarely missed an episode and carried the series with quiet strength. But acting was not easy for him. Before becoming famous, Arness had served in World War II and was badly injured during the Battle of Anzio in Italy. He was shot in the leg and foot, and the injury caused him pain for the rest of his life. Even while filming Gunsmoke, he often struggled with discomfort and arthritis. The production team sometimes scheduled his scenes earlier in the day to reduce the physical strain. Despite this pain, Arness remained dedicated. His real-life strength made his character even more believable. However, as the years passed and the pressures of long filming schedules continued, personal and creative differences began to form behind the scenes. While fans saw a smooth and professional team on television, the reality was more complicated. In particular, his relationship with co-star Amanda Blake, who played Miss Kitty Russell, became a source of tension that would later spark rumors and discussion among fans and television historians alike. As Gunsmoke continued to grow in popularity, the character of Miss Kitty Russell became just as important to the show as Marshal Matt Dillon. Miss Kitty was played by Amanda Blake, a talented and confident actress who brought warmth, intelligence, and independence to the role. Kitty owned the Long Branch Saloon and was one of the few strong female business owners on television during the 1950s and 1960s. She was not just a background character. She was smart, outspoken, and emotionally strong. Many fans believed she and Matt Dillon shared a deep romantic connection, even though the show never clearly showed them as a married couple. Their chemistry became one of the emotional centers of Gunsmoke. Viewers enjoyed watching their quiet conversations and subtle moments of affection. On screen, they appeared comfortable and natural together. However, reports from people who worked on the show later suggested that their real-life relationship was not always so smooth. While James Arness was known for being quiet, private, and serious, Amanda Blake had a more outgoing and strong-willed personality. She was passionate about animal rights, spoke openly about her opinions, and had a bold presence both on and off camera. Some sources claimed that these personality differences created tension between the two actors. Arness preferred a calm and focused work environment, while Blake sometimes challenged ideas and pushed for changes in her character's development. Over time, small disagreements may have grown into deeper frustration. There were rumors that Arness felt the romantic storyline between Matt and Kitty distracted from the main focus of the show, which he believed should center on law, justice, and moral decisions. He reportedly wanted the show to stay serious and grounded. Blake, on the other hand, understood how much fans loved the emotional side of their relationship and may have supported keeping that connection strong. While there is no public record of loud arguments or dramatic fights, insiders suggested that there was quiet tension behind the scenes. At one point, stories began circulating that Arness privately wished Blake would leave the show. Whether this was based on direct statements or exaggerated gossip remains unclear, but the rumor itself became part of Gunsmoke history. What makes the situation more interesting is that despite these tensions, Amanda Blake remained on the show for 19 seasons. She became one of the longest-running female characters in television history at that time. If the tension was real, it never became strong enough to force an early departure. Instead, both actors continued to perform professionally. Their scenes together remained powerful and convincing. This shows the level of dedication both had toward their craft. Even if they did not always agree personally, they understood the importance of the show and respected its success. In long-running television series, it is common for actors to experience disagreements after working together for many years. Filming schedules are demanding, creative opinions differ, and personal growth can change relationships over time. For Gunsmoke, which ran for 2 decades, maintaining harmony was likely not always easy. Still, the show continued to succeed, proving that professionalism often matters more than personal friendship in Hollywood. The question remains, did James Arness truly want his co-star to leave, or were these stories amplified over time? The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle, shaped by human emotions, long working hours, and the pressures of maintaining one of television's most successful dramas. Beyond the tension between James Arness and Amanda Blake, Gunsmoke's success depended on a strong supporting cast and careful production choices. Characters like Doc, the town physician, and Sam, the loyal bartender, helped make Dodge City feel real and alive. Milburn Stone played Doc, a wise and steady figure who balanced Matt Dillon's strong moral presence. Interestingly, the writers allowed Stone to choose his character's name, inspired by the ancient Greek physician Galen, which added depth and personality to the role. Likewise, Glenn Strange portrayed Sam, the bartender who brought humor and warmth to the show. Strange had a long Hollywood career, including playing Frankenstein's monster in several films, but Gunsmoke became his final and most beloved role. The show's writers and producers understood that building a realistic world meant more than focusing on the main characters. Each supporting character had personality, history, and moments that drew viewers in. This careful attention to detail helped maintain audience interest across 20 years of television. At the same time, James Arness' personal struggles played a role behind the scenes. His war injuries from World War II caused chronic pain, arthritis, and difficulty walking long distances. These physical challenges required the production team to make thoughtful adjustments, such as filming his walking scenes early in the day and limiting strenuous action sequences. Even with these changes, Arness maintained a commanding presence on screen. His discipline, strength, and professionalism allowed him to keep Gunsmoke at a high standard for 2 decades. The show's longevity is also linked to how it adapted over time. Gunsmoke began as a 30-minute black and white program, later expanding to a full hour, while still in black and white. Eventually, it transitioned to color television, enhancing the visual impact of Dodge City and its dusty streets. Even minor details, like the opening credits featuring Matt Dillon facing off with a mysterious gunslinger, became iconic. While the visual tension captured the drama of life in the Old West, the cast maintained a playful and supportive atmosphere behind the camera. Stories tell of James Arness joking with co-stars during filming, sometimes letting the gunman win in rehearsals, which created laughter and camaraderie on set. These moments helped maintain morale over years of grueling filming schedules, even as personal differences occasionally caused quiet tension. Another factor contributing to the show's success was its careful handling of sensitive topics. For example, Miss Kitty's backstory, originally a professional madam on radio, was softened for television to keep the show family-friendly. Amanda Blake's portrayal turned her into a respected businesswoman, blending charm, intelligence, and independence, which made her relatable to audiences of all ages. Despite creative changes, the writers and cast ensured that the character retained her essential strength and personality. By combining strong storytelling, committed performances, and careful adaptation, Gunsmoke became more than just a popular Western. It became a television landmark, influencing the genre for decades. Its cultural impact was significant, and its success proved that a long-running show could balance engaging stories with complex characters while handling behind-the-scenes challenges, including tension among stars and the physical limitations of its lead actor. The show's enduring popularity also demonstrates how professionalism and dedication in front of and behind the camera can overcome personal disagreements and physical obstacles to create a series that resonates across generations. Ultimately, the rumored conflict between Arness and Blake did not diminish the show's success or its impact on viewers. Their ability to work together professionally allowed Gunsmoke to thrive, creating a legacy that continues to inspire television producers, actors, and fans even decades after the final episode aired. Gunsmoke's influence did not end when the original series concluded in 1975. Unlike modern television shows, which often planned emotional finales, Gunsmoke simply ended with a regular episode, leaving many storylines unresolved. Fans were surprised, and even the cast, including James Arness, learned of the show's cancellation through media reports rather than directly from producers. Despite this abrupt ending, the series' legacy continued. Between 1987 and 1994, 5 made-for-TV Gunsmoke movies were produced, bringing back beloved characters and familiar faces. Arness returned as Marshal Matt Dillon in all of these films, proving once again his dedication to the character and to the fans. These movies, including titles like Gunsmoke, Return to Dodge, Gunsmoke, The Last Apache, Gunsmoke, The Long Ride, Gunsmoke, One Man's Justice, and Gunsmoke, To the Last Man, allowed audiences to revisit Dodge City and reconnect with the people they had grown to love over decades. While these films did not always receive critical praise, they provided a nostalgic continuation for longtime fans and reinforced Arness' place as the enduring heart of the Gunsmoke universe. Beyond the screen, the show's success also reflected important social and cultural changes. Westerns in the 1950s and 1960s were more than entertainment. They reflected values like justice, fairness, courage, and responsibility. Gunsmoke, in particular, showed the struggle between right and wrong in realistic, sometimes gritty ways. Marshal Matt Dillon often faced morally complex situations that required wisdom and fairness rather than simply relying on force. This approach made the show stand out and contributed to its long-running popularity. Moreover, the series demonstrated how television could adapt to changing audience expectations. When concerns about violence in media grew during the early 1970s, the show adjusted its opening gunfight sequences and toned down graphic content without losing the essence of the story. This balance between tradition and adaptation helped Gunsmoke remain relevant even as the television landscape shifted. It also showcased the professionalism of actors like Arness and Blake, who were able to maintain compelling performances under evolving circumstances. James Arness' own life story added depth to his portrayal of Dillon. His experiences as a soldier in World War II, the bravery he showed during combat, and the injuries he sustained all influenced how he approached acting. Viewers may not have known the personal challenges he faced, but his strength, resilience, and quiet determination translated into an authentic and respected performance that anchored the series. At the same time, co-stars like Amanda Blake, Milburn Stone, and Glenn Strange enriched the series with memorable performances, each adding emotional and narrative depth. Even minor characters, including townspeople and guest stars, helped create the sense of a living, breathing town where each story mattered. Gunsmoke's ability to weave together drama, humor, action, and moral lessons contributed to its status as one of the most iconic television shows in history. The behind-the-scenes dynamics, including personal disagreements, physical challenges, and professional dedication, all combined to create a resilient production. Even the rumored tension between Arness and Blake did not prevent the show from achieving its goals. Instead, it became part of the hidden story of how Gunsmoke survived for 2 decades, proving that strong storytelling, committed actors, and careful production can overcome personal and professional challenges. Ultimately, the combination of historical context, real-life experiences of the actors, and compelling narratives made Gunsmoke a cultural touchstone that remains relevant today. It offers lessons not just in entertainment, but in perseverance, teamwork, and the balance between personal differences and professional commitment. Another important factor in Gunsmoke's long-lasting appeal was the way the show combined historical accuracy with compelling storytelling. Although it was a Western drama, the series took care to represent life in Dodge City realistically. The streets, saloons, and law enforcement procedures were carefully designed to feel authentic, helping audiences believe in the world they were watching. James Arness' portrayal of Marshal Matt Dillon reflected this commitment to realism. His calm but firm demeanor, his methodical handling of conflicts, and his careful attention to the law made him believable as a frontier lawman. While his war injuries and chronic pain were challenges, Arness used his personal experience with resilience and discipline to enhance his performance. His dedication set the standard for other actors on the set. The supporting cast, including Amanda Blake as Miss Kitty Russell, Milburn Stone as Doc, and Glenn Strange as Sam, also played critical roles in creating a believable world. Each character had distinct traits, personal stories, and moral codes that added depth to the show. For instance, Miss Kitty's evolution from a professional madam in the radio series to a respected saloon owner on television allowed viewers to connect with her independence, intelligence, and charm. At the same time, Doc's quiet wisdom and Sam's humor balanced the drama, creating a mix of emotions that kept audiences engaged week after week. Another key element of Gunsmoke's success was its ability to adapt to technological and cultural changes. The series began as a 30-minute black-and-white program but eventually expanded to an hour and transitioned to color. These changes allowed the show to remain visually appealing and maintain audience interest in an era of evolving television standards. Additionally, when concerns about violence arose during the 1970s, producers carefully adjusted content without undermining the show's core themes. These thoughtful adaptations showed that the series' success depended not only on talented actors and strong storytelling, but also on a production team willing to evolve responsibly. Despite the professional adjustments and changes over time, the rumored tension between Arness and Blake remained a fascinating behind-the-scenes detail. While both actors maintained professionalism on set, fans and television historians have long speculated about disagreements regarding character direction, creative decisions, and personal differences. These tensions were never openly dramatic, but the idea that James Arness might have wanted Amanda Blake removed adds an element of intrigue to the show's history. It highlights that even successful television series involve complex human dynamics, where personal opinions and working styles may differ, while the shared goal of producing quality entertainment keeps the team together. Gunsmoke's legacy also extends beyond the original series. The 5 made-for-TV movies produced between 1987 and 1994 allowed audiences to revisit Dodge City, providing a sense of closure and nostalgia. James Arness' return in each film confirmed his lasting connection to the character and the show. Even though the movies did not always achieve critical acclaim, they gave fans the chance to experience the characters they loved in a modern context while honoring the original series. By examining the combination of authentic storytelling, historical accuracy, technological adaptation, strong performances, and behind-the-scenes professionalism, it becomes clear why Gunsmoke achieved such enduring popularity. The rumored disagreements between Arness and Blake add an additional layer to the story, reminding viewers that human relationships in television production are often complex. These dynamics, combined with dedication and talent, allowed Gunsmoke to stand out as a cultural and historical milestone in American television. Ultimately, the show's blend of realism, morality, drama, and entertainment ensured its place in television history, influencing Western dramas and inspiring future generations of actors, producers, and viewers alike. One of the most remarkable aspects of Gunsmoke was how it maintained its audience's interest over 2 decades while dealing with behind-the-scenes challenges. including the physical limitations of its lead actor and rumored tensions among co-stars. James Arness's wartime injuries caused chronic pain that could have easily affected his performance. Yet, he managed to deliver consistent, believable, and commanding portrayals of Marshal Matt Dillon week after week. The production team's adjustments, such as filming his most physically demanding scenes earlier in the day, demonstrated how cooperation and careful planning allowed the show to thrive despite personal challenges. Similarly, the rumored tension between Arness and Amanda Blake, who played Miss Kitty Russell, added another layer to the story of the show's success. While Arness reportedly preferred a calmer, more serious tone for the series, Blake was passionate about her character's emotional depth and independence. The differences between their personalities could have disrupted production, yet both actors maintained professionalism. Their ability to collaborate despite personal disagreements ensured that the on-screen chemistry remained strong and that the show continued to captivate viewers. Another reason for Gunsmoke's long-term success was its attention to detail and authenticity in storytelling. From the dusty streets of Dodge City to the complex moral dilemmas faced by its characters, the series carefully balanced action, drama, and emotion. Supporting characters such as Doc, Sam, and other townspeople were not just background figures. They had their own distinct personalities, challenges, and growth arcs, which made the town feel alive. Milburn Stone's portrayal of Doc, for example, combined medical knowledge with emotional wisdom, offering a calm and reassuring presence in contrast to Dillon's strict law enforcement. Glenn Strange's Sam added humor and warmth, giving audiences moments of levity during tense episodes. These supporting roles, combined with Arness and Blake's performances, created a world that viewers could invest in for years. The show also demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt to cultural and technological shifts. Starting as a 30-minute black-and-white program, it expanded to a full hour, eventually moving to color, which enhanced its visual storytelling. Changes were made to the opening credits and gunfight sequences to respond to concerns about media violence in the 1970s, showing that the producers were sensitive to changing audience expectations while still maintaining the core